Yeah, so I don't know. I get the feeling that people are starting to lose a little bit of patience with the whole no release date. And the thing is, people are cool with not knowing anything about it. And I think this is one of the mistakes people are making. But look, we were all waiting for the This Week in WoW post this week. And, what they could tell us about it. And I think most people expected the This Week in WoW post to,
so much to do,
announce the announcement, right? To announce the announcement of the date. You know how they have those blue posts? It's like This Week in WoW on Tuesday. A blue post from the devs talking about PvP and stuff like that. And I think most people expected, this Week in WoW to be like Thursday. Announcement for the release date of 10.2.6. I think most people in the community expected that this week. We're into March. The patch has to be soon to be able to keep in with the with the time frame and the established time frame and stuff like that. And it didn't happen. The blue post came out this week in WoW, and there was nothing about 10.2.6 at all. Well, I really like this picture that they use. Stay on top of all the upcoming news and in-game activities right here. Dark Moon Fair, World Quest bonus event, PvP Brawl Comp Stomp, Season of Discovery, Discoverer's Delight. Been spending most our lives living in Discoverer's Delight Paradise. March the 8th, NDI Global Finals begin, and Blues news. And that's it. So there was nothing about a release date. And what we did was we put a tweet up that said, lol, fuck. Okay, so what do you think this tweet means, just out of interest? How do you read this tweet, chat? I would really like to get your opinion on this, because I think it's been taken by some people in a way that I didn't mean it. I'm gonna wait for your comments to come through. What do you like? What's the sentiment behind it? How did you, when you read this tweet, which you all do because you follow me on Twitter and you love it, right? Like, what? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I think it's like a jokey disappointment. Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. But all the people who read it as fuck you, I guess it could be read as fuck you. I was saying fuck sadly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was like meant to be. Okay, so here's what it was supposed to be. I read it like Holly, please leave the comment below. Yeah, totally. So I was like, it was meant to be like a kind of on your knees, like, fuck, which was like so drawn out that, you couldn't finish it in the tweet. It was meant to be like an on your knees in the rain, drawn out fuck. That's what it was supposed to be, right? It wasn't supposed to be like a fuck you. To be very clear, it wasn't supposed to be a fuck you. It was supposed to be like, I had my hopes up, and those hopes were dashed, but it's fine. We're making a joke out of it. We're having a laugh at it. To be very clear, this wasn't meant as a critical tweet at all. Like, I was making fun of myself, but clearly I have misjudged the situation. Clearly I am wrong, and I did it wrong. And I'm a very big man these days. Oh yeah, I'm a huge man. I'm a massive man these days. I'm pretty much moon size these days, right? And I'm big enough to admit that, judging by people's reactions to it, I probably didn't convey the message that I thought I was conveying well enough. And I guess that's on me, right? Fuck me, right? Because yeah, quite a lot of people in this chat even have read it as a fuck you, which is not what it's meant to be. Holly, if you don't hate us now, that wasn't meant to be a fuck you. I feel like I have to explain this, right? Yeah, it was just meant to be like a fuck, like just a disappointed, like shouting at the sky thing. Just a joke, really, just joking around. Now, unfortunately, I say fortunately, Holly Longdale replied to this tweet. Holly Longdale, sorry, I will do her the respect of calling her the correct name. Holly Longdale replied to this tweet, and I feel like she might have been one of the people that took it as a much more critical tweet than I meant it as, which, as I've just established, no shame in doing that, no criticism on you if you took this in a way that I didn't mean for it to be taken. And she's like, sorry?
So much to do, so
which
much
I
to
think
see.
also, by the way, comes
Together.
off as a lot more snarky than she meant it to. It comes across as like a sarcastic, I'm sorry, what? And I don't think it's meant to come across like that. I think it's like, oh, sorry? Are people angry kind of thing, right? You know? So I think there's two things going on here. I don't think this sorry is meant as like quite as snarky as it comes across either. Interneting is hard, man. Basically, Twitter is shit and we should all leave it. We have learned that not having news and deets is frustrating for our creators and players. Stick with us for a minute. Our goal is a bit of fun. As always, we are here to learn and serve, so to speak. Which is nice. Look, that's fine. But I think this is a genuinely apologetic post. I think she's genuinely apologizing in this post, which, to be clear, I don't think she needs to do. It's like, that was not the purpose of my tweet. It was not the purpose of my tweet at all, was to kind of try and elicit any kind of explanation or apology or anything like that. To be very clear, that was not the purpose of my tweet, was not to be like, what the fuck are they doing kind of thing. There was nothing angry about my tweet at all. I was just laughing kind of at myself, right? Simple as that. And the fact that it elicited what I read as a genuine apology from Holly Longdale makes me feel horrible. It makes me feel terrible because that's not what this tweet was meant to do at all. It was just, again, it was just meant to be poking fun at myself, like for getting my hopes up and having them dashed. And that's made me feel awful, like genuinely. And do you know what made me feel extra awful? Was the fact that I was really, really busy working on a video. So I did not read this reply for hours afterwards. When I came to Twitter, I had one of those moments where like I turned it on and every fucking thing was on fire. I was like the community dude coming back with the pizzas and the room is on fire and everyone's gone feral meme. I was like, what the fuck happened to my tweet? What's going on? This is terrible. In fact, not even that. I sat down for dinner when we all had dinner together and Evie was like, have you seen what's going on Twitter? And I was like, oh, you mean all the shit with Mr. GM? No, I tried to avoid it. And she was like, no, your tweet. The fuck you to Holly. I was like, I didn't say fuck you to Holly. What's going on? And I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, the internet's on fire. Quickly, divert to Mr. GM. Quickly, Mr. GM, say something about Palestine. Quickly, get this shit off me. Get this heat off me. I was like, oh no, fuck. So, and then I replied and I was just like, hey, we're just having a bit of fun, right? We're just joking around. Actually, I'm glad we didn't get news yesterday because I'd have had to rewrite the weekly reset. And like, you know, that's all it was. It was just meant to be a no, just that thing. Not, maybe I should put no instead, you know. Maybe that's the lesson I should have learned here. No FUs, just like no. So Holly, if you ever watch this, if someone clips it on your teams and sends it to you, I'm genuinely sorry. That is not what this tweet was meant for at all. However, I do think it's worth talking about because other people in the replies clearly did not mean to just have a little joke around and clearly are being critical of WoW and Blizz and the lack of news on 10.2.6. And I think Flex and Jack, you know, there's some very unkind comments on here, actually, which I don't agree with at all. And actually, I wish I'd read them before I kind of jumped in and replied to Holly, because I'd been like, hey, just, you know, the comments on this tweet do not represent the views of Tali and Nevertell.com, right? And yeah, I think Flex sums it up really well when he says, the weight is no issue. The only thing that would have been better is to not have the pirate teasing for, oh no, I don't actually completely agree with that. Okay, so what is people's opinion on the way that 10.2.6 has been teased? Do we like it? Is it too much? What could they have done better? Because, you know, Holly is saying here they're going to learn some lessons. What is the lesson they should have agreed that they should learn from this? What's the lesson they should take from it, in your opinion? It better not be really shit. I mean, facts. Yeah, seriously. Fun to have a bit of mystery. I like it. I don't mind as long as it matches the hype. Wish they put out hints each week. I'm sorry, I will interrupt us for a bit. I think hypes people up so much that it'll be hard to meet that hype. Yeah. I think it's getting expectations too high, probably. Ophelia says, when is the next update? Yeah, and that's the one I agree with. So to be clear, if there is a criticism to label at WoW here, if there is, and I'm not even saying there is, honestly, but in my opinion, if there is, then it's nothing to do with not giving us information on it. I'm fine with that. I love the idea of it being like a secret thing. For me, I've got no problems with not having any information on the patch. And you know, a lot of the replies in this thread are like, "We need information. This will teach you not to keep information for such a long time." The main problem is the tease is intense and not classic for WoW community. It triggers very, you know, and so I can sympathize with a lot of these criticisms. I don't necessarily agree. I'm fine with the mystery. I'm fine having fucking nothing to talk about on the weekly reset. I'm actually fine with that. I'm a player first. Yeah, so like, honestly, I'm fine with all that. The problem for me is I feel like we should have had a release date. I feel like we needed a release date a bit sooner. So yeah, to be clear, if there is a criticism for Blizz in this process with 10.2.6, it is for me that I would have liked a release date, you know? And the fact that they haven't given a release date suggests to me, or kind of hints to me, that they're going to do a surprise drop of this patch. And I fucking hate that. I do not want a surprise drop of 10.2.6. I do not want it. I don't want them to just like be, and it's now. I can see why they might think that would be fun, but that is not fun. If you do a surprise drop of 10.2.6 with its like secret content that you've been very, very adamant that no one should know about, then all a secret drop is spoils that secret content for people, which might seem unintuitive, anti-intuitive, but it's the truth. If you drop it by surprise, the first people that come across that stuff are going to put it all over the internet. People won't know that it's about to go all over the internet, and they will get spoiled. Like, if you give people a clear release date, what happens is they can be like, cool, I will not be looking at Twitter on that day. I will not be, you know, if I don't want to know, I won't watch streams that day, or I'll make sure I am watching streams that day as I'm playing so that we can do that. And, you know, I don't want to know this shit. So if you've got a release date like set in stone that people know about, they can prepare for it, and they can prepare not to be spoiled. If you just drop content, you know, out of nowhere, I can see why you think that's going to be fun, but it's not going to be, especially with content that is supposed to be a secret, because more people are going to get spoiled that way. They won't be expecting it. They'll be on Twitter. They'll be on Wowhead. It'll be like, this is what's happening. Or you know, on Twitter, or YouTube videos pop up going, I can't believe they did this. And you will get spoiled. And there's loads more chance of getting spoiled if you just drop it randomly and you don't give a clear release date. So my big worry right now is that they're going to do that, is that they're going to just drop it, you know, like a surprise. And that doesn't give people time to prepare, and that would be a really bad thing. So I hope they're not going to do that. Maybe they're not going to do that at all. That's just like the vibe I'm getting from not giving a release date, you know? It could also be that it's not ready. That's true. But yeah, I think honestly, the thing that people are getting edgy about, and I think maybe Holly, my worry is here that it sounds like they're kind of learning if they are taking a lesson from the community at the moment, it feels like they're taking maybe the wrong lesson. When she says not having news and deets is frustrating for our creators and players, no, it's kind of frustrating from a kind of, you know, maybe you do lose a bit of hype from it, but for me, a release date would have solved that. Simple as that. I don't need any more information on the patch. I don't need to know what it is. I don't need any more like insight. All I need is like a release date. And that would have made me feel a lot better. But like I say, I'm nitpicking here because my tweet was a joke. You know? Honestly, if 10.2.5 had more content, it would have been a non-issue, I think. I think you're right, actually. Yeah, I think if there is a lesson to take here, it's not about giving news for 10.2.6. It's about digs. Digs are the big fucking misstep. Digs are the big misstep in recent times, and that's why people are getting edgy about 10.2.6, because digs kind of suck, you know. And digs themselves are fine. They feel. I saw Moody said on Twitch that they feel incomplete, and I completely agree. They do feel incomplete. When I first did them, I really enjoyed them because they were fun. Like, the action of digs is fun, but then you realize there are no real rewards for filling out the reputation. And as soon as I like did 2 reputation bars and I didn't get anything for it, I was like, well, fuck this. You know, shit like that can be really fun if you've got something to aim for. It's why time rifts was so good, because you had so many vendors to buy shit off, and you got something with every reputation kind of upgrade as well. And you know, that was fun. That was really, really cool. And time rifts were fucking banging anyway. They were better than digs for sure, gameplay wise. But even if they hadn't been, the rewards were so clear and so tangible that you were like, yeah, I absolutely want to do that. But like, I'm not into the digs because the rewards suck, you know? They were fun when I needed to get like the transmog rewards, but as soon as I got those, which were dished out pretty quickly, as they should be, the second I realized that there was nothing to be gained from doing the reputation, I was like, oh, well, that's really bad. And so, you know, that content, the repeatable content in 10.2.5 isn't as fun and repeatable as, you know, these world events and stuff have been in the past. And yeah, that has created like a feeling of content drought that has only been exacerbated by the lack of news on 10.2.6. And like I say, I don't think it needs loads of information. I just, a release date would have been nice. You know, it's like when you're jogging and you're starting to feel tired and you need to push yourself a bit. There's no point going, oh, I need to run another mile. You've got to be like, I'm going to aim for that lamppost over there. And then when you get to that lamppost, you're like, cool, now I'm going to check that lamppost over there. Right? And then you're like, now I'm going to get to that lamppost. Like, you've got to do it incrementally, and having a target that you're aiming for, you know, which is achievable, is really important. And I kind of feel like that with the 10.2.6 release date. It's like, yeah, it'd be nice to have that there to aim for. That would get us through any kind of feelings of drought or anything like that. Because I'm playing loads of WoW at the moment. I'm playing mostly Mythic Plus and really, really enjoying it. You know, I reached 3K rating on my Discipline Priest. I'm kind of chugging along, just having fun, kind of pugging like up to about plus 14 on my Death Knight tank at the moment. Really enjoying that. I just jump in as a tank and tank anything under 14. I can do like super easy. Nothing bothers me at all. And that's just a nice relaxing experience for me. I really enjoy it. So I have been having a lot of fun in WoW. But yeah, when it comes to 10.2.6, I feel like that's the lesson to take. Do people disagree? Let's have a poll. I really want to hear your opinions on this, actually. But I'd like to set a poll as well. So let's see. 10.2.6 needed more info. Needed a release date. I might change that to needed more specific info. Needed more specific info. Needed release date. No problem. It's fun. Okay, those are your options. I'm only going to leave it open for 1 minute, right? I might leave this one open for 2 minutes. It's an important one. There's your poll. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So you know what I think, right? I'm going to put needed a release date, and we'll see what the community consider. Needed is a strong word. We don't need any info. We just want it. No, I disagree. If you needed more info to stop any bad feelings or loss of hype or anything like that, you know, then I think needed is the right word to use. So I think most people agree with me, it seems, on this poll. Maybe I've influenced you by putting my case forward before I opened the poll. Maybe that was wrong of me. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so yeah, most people agree with me on this one. I think that's good. I love it when people agree with me. However, I'm going to put up another poll. I'm going to try not to influence you. And this poll will be, have you lost hype for 10.2.6? Where is the FU poll? That's a troll poll. Okay, so most people haven't. Okay, so 40. So the majority of people have lost a tiny bit of hype. Have lost at least some hype.
Capital gains to help us get on the property ladder for our first player house.
Yeah, totally, man. That's what it's all about. We've got night school. We've got we got player housing. No, legit though. Al, I actually genuinely think night school will be in this patch. I'm if there's one bet I'm willing to make about 10.2.6, I think night school will be in it in some way. They'll talk about him or he'll appear or something because they said that it was inspired by community speculation. I think it's a fairly reasonable bet. I think it's a pretty smart bet that night school will be in this patch in some shape or form. You know? That's what I think. So yeah, it's fair to say that, you know, although the biggest vote was for no, I haven't lost any hype, the majority of people have lost a bit of hype. You know? 54% of people have lost at least some hype. And that's a shame. I don't know what the answer to that is. Probably the answer is maybe giving a bit more information. Or do you think they could have done like, you know, some kind of, you know, online transmedia kind of hint stroke cryptic clue campaign? Do you think that would have got it? I don't get hype for micro patches. Probably a really, really good idea.